Okay, so I am back in Skyrim. Now I know you probably lost a little bit of context on this, whole playthrough, since we wandered in conversation quite a bit since here and there. So let me just give you a quick recap as to this playthrough. First of all, the character's name is Sophie, and here's how it goes. In my previous walkthrough, my previous playthrough, I should say, um, we were playing as a Khajiit named Major Crimes. Major Crimes. She became the head of both the Dark Brotherhood and the Thieves Guild. In other words, she is the ultimate crime boss in all of Skyrim. Throughout her adventures, when she got herself a home in the Ratway, the Shadowfoot Sanctum, she went out and adopted two children, Lucia and Sophie. Um, they grew up mostly after they got adopted. They spent most of their time in the Shadowfoot Sanctum because wandering around out in the Ratways, as a child, is not a good idea. As a matter of fact, there was one case where Majir decided when Sophie said, "Hey, would you like to play a game?" and Majir said, "Okay." She said, "Okay, let's play tag." And then Sophie decided to run out into the Ratway and managed to get the attention of just about every bad person in there. Granted, Sophie could not die because children are, well, they can't die in normal Skyrim. But getting her back in the house was a bit of an adventure. So, excuse me. From that point on, no more game playing was allowed. So, needless to say, Sophie and Lucia kind of had, a sheltered life inside the Ratway. Granted, they had access to all the best that money could buy. All the books that mommy could bring back and whatnot. Oh, and mommy Majir, eventually married Muri, a the daughter of an apothecary in Markov, and they became a loving, wonderful married couple. And then they moved the whole family out of the Ratway into well, they bought both the house in Whiterun and the house outside of Whiterun, and then they all moved into I forget which house they moved into, but anyway, they had a nice, happy home, and that's about where Majir's career ended. Not ended per se, but her story ended, and then I decided to transition to what if Sophie grew up and decided to go off and adventuring herself. Now, of course, one of the things that she had an interest in from all of her mommy's stories was about the Reiklings or Reiklings, however you want to pronounce them, out on Solstheim. So one of the first things that Sophie did. Now, of course, keep in mind, Sophie has an unlimited supply of money, basically, because mommy is rich as hell and, just showers her daughters with affection and love whenever she can, or with not just hands them money. Sophie can always just basically conjure up cash whenever she needs it. She's got an unlimited, FedEx card, so to speak. Um, Not FedEx card, Amex, American Express, whatever, you know what I mean. She's basically got an unlimited bank account. So she took a trip out to Solstheim, met the Reiklings, and became the chief of the Reiklings, and recruited or befriended, however you want to say, a Reikling who she calls Little Blue. She then went back. She then decided that she did, unlike her mom, who was a crime lord, she wanted to go a different route. So she decided she wanted to learn magic. So she went to the College of Winterhold, and much shenanigans ensued, and eventually she became the Archmage of Winterhold College, and she started doing some. She started talking with Arniel Gain, who has an interesting project he's working on, and she's took an interest in that project because Sophie really has no interest in being a stay in the college administrator, so to speak. She just wants to continue going out into the world. And she realized that she's going to be traveling that much. A normal horse is just not going to cut it. So she went into I forget the name of the place now. I'm brain farting, but there's a uh, dungeon where she went through and got herself the dwarven Warhorse, a mount that has unlimited stamina and can fall from any height without taking any damage. It's got like steam powered shock absorbers or something, so you can literally ride off the top of a mountain and land safely, thousands of feet below. Um, that was pretty much the. Oh, and then after she got the horse, then she went back to Arnold. Arnold gave her. She did a couple of quests, one of which was to go get get a gem that Enthier had, and he sent her off on a quest to retrieve a staff in back in Felglow Keep. She went back in there, which she'd already cleared earlier, but there were still some enemies that respawned, so she got rid of them, got the staff, brought it back to Enthier, and then got the thingamajigger. I think it's the fractured soul gem or whatever the hell it's called to give to Enthier or back to Arniel, and he's got some more quests going. And if I remember correctly, now we took the boat back to. Actually, now I got to look at the map and see where the heck I am. I think I'm heading toward. Right. We were riding from the college now back to Dawnstar to catch the boat to either Solitude or Windhelm once I figure out what our next stop is. But for the moment, right now, we're just heading on the wonderful, wonderful Robo Horse here and on our way to Dawnstar to work on the next leg of our journey. I think I summed up everything. Wait a second. Okay, so what quest am I actually on? Arniel's Endeavor, place the soul gem in the convector, and... Oh, wait a minute. Okay, so there's one... Right. So... Yeah, Deep Folk Crossing, and then there's one there. And then there's one over by Riften, if I remember right. So the current plan, I guess, is going to be once I get to... Right, we're going to ride to Dawnstar and then probably go back to... Markov, ride from Markov up to Deep Folk Crossing, do that convector, and then ride to that one there, and then I'll figure out the next step from there. Okay. Now that I've been yakking for quite a bit, I'm going to stop recording, start the next bit.